Hey! Alright, today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate chip cookies. And this is what we're making. Just wanted to show you them. Alright, so that's what we're doing. We're making these. So hold on a second. Alright, so one of the first things you want to do when you're going to make chocolate chip cookies is, I would say, put some foil on a pan. So we're going to do that. And I make sure that the dull side is up. I put the cookies on the dull side, not the shiny side. Okay, so put the shiny side down so that the dull side is up. Okay. So first, do that. Okay. The next thing is I take 3 cups of flour. Okay, and you add how much? 1 teaspoon of salt. And you add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Sorry, scratch that. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. It's baking soda. Okay, baking soda, 1 teaspoon. Alright, then you just kind of stir this together a little bit. I like shaking it with my spoon a little bit. That way it kind of just gets all mixed together there. Okay, so once you do that, you can set that aside for a minute. And then what you're going to do is, in a big bowl, put 1 cup of white sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 stick of butter, and half a cup of shortening. Okay? And you mix that up. I would say mix it really, really good. And after you've mixed it, you know, somewhat good, then I would at that point add 2 teaspoons of, 2 teaspoons of imitation vanilla. I do not use the real thing. Imitation vanilla. Okay, add that in there. That kind of helps it a little bit to get together. And I am using just a spoon and a bowl, not a mixer. You can use a mixer, or you can just use a spoon and a bowl. You don't have to have a mixer to make cookies. In fact, it gets your arm muscles nice and big. Alright, well maybe that's not true, but it strengthens your arm muscles. Okay, so I get that all mixed up. And then I'm going to add 2 beaten eggs. I say beat them up really, really well before you add them. Okay? So add those. Now I believe perhaps that that one of the good secrets, or whatever you want to say, to these turning out so well is that you have the half a cup of butter, which is 1 stick, and you have the half a cup of shortening. I think that combination just makes it turn out really well. And perhaps the way you mix it too. I think that if you dump it all in the mixer all at once, I think that has a different outcome. So, so do it this way. And I check my recipe, make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, white sugar, brown sugar, vanilla, eggs. Okay, all right. So the next thing you do is you add your flour mixture that has the 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, and I don't know, I think I probably add just add a little bit, stir that, then add a little bit, stir the next. It's more. Add some more. The rest of it. Perhaps the way you stir it has something to do with it too. Kind of like with pastry, with butter and flour. I don't know. All right, now, okay, now if you are doing this in a mixer, I say at this point, take your bowl off the mixer thing, bring it over to the table, and then add the chocolate chips. Do not try and make your mixer work through mixing all the chocolate chips. I think it will perhaps do damage to your mixer. I don't know, I haven't tried it. So at this point, if you're doing it, take it off. And then I add a cup and about a half a cup of chocolate chips. And then stir them up. Okay, now, let's see. I'm gonna get my other bowl. Hold on a second. Okay, so here's my other other bowl that I made the chocolate chips with, chocolate chip cookies that I showed you. And every time I set it aside, every time I'm done working with it for a minute while while the cookies are baking, then I always have some saran wrap on it, touching it. I put it on there and I just pat it down all the way around it so that while it's sitting, the eggs in there aren't drying out. So I highly recommend doing that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just gonna put them on the pan. Which reminds me, I need to put plastic on my other ones that's sitting over here. Okay. So we'll put that there. And, okay. Alright, so let's put them on there. To roll them and make them look all beautiful. I don't do that anymore. It's too much time consuming and brain power. It's just not worth it. So I just make a thing like that in my hand, about that size, and plop it on there. And after a while I kind of get the feel it's too much, what's not enough. Take it off if it's too much. Okay. All right, and then what I typically do, hold on just a second, let me make sure I do my step. Okay, I keep the spoon in there. And then I cover it up real good. Okay, and then with these, what I do is typically I, kind of reform them a little bit, and then after I do that, make sure they're not too strange looking. I push them down just a little bit. Just push them down, and then I have my oven preheated already to 350. And I'll bake them for 12 minutes, and then I will, just a second, stick them in there, 12 minutes. Okay. So I stick them in for 12 minutes. When 12 minutes is over, then I don't take them out right then. I look in to see how they're doing. And I know some people say take them out before they look done. I like to take them out when they're done, actually. I like it to look brown. So I kind of just check, and then I set the timer for another minute and a half. And then maybe another 30-40 seconds, whatever they look like, I add a little bit more time and then I stand there. I don't go off and do something else, just stand there, and I kind of get the feel just from how long they've been in there and what they're smelling like to figure out if I need to take them out. Okay, so after you take them out, then okay, so say you've just taken them out of the oven. Don't try and take them off the pan yet. Set your timer for like 6 minutes, okay? And let them just sit here. Just sit. And when the 6 minutes is over, then I recommend taking a really thin spatula thingy here to get them off. That works the best for me, a real thin one. And then they'll come off really easily. They might need a little bit of, you know, pushing around, but generally they'll come off really easily. And I do not recommend sitting this on the stove, either before you put, you know, while you're waiting to put cookies on here, or after they're done, because that will heat the pan up a little bit. And then when you're putting the cookies on, it starts to cook them and starts to melt the butter and whatnot in there. And then your timing is off for the cooking. So don't stick your pans on there either empty or anything. Just put them somewhere else. And then, oh yeah. I am just going to show you them one more time here. That's what they look like. Well, that's what they look like when I cook them. Cook them until they're like this. And I'm going to take one and I'm going to break it open just to show you maybe what they look like. Okay, so this has been sitting there for a while. So that's the inside. And that's how they break. It's kind of like that. Right now they're soft. And tastes pretty good too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, just a second. Oh, hey, one other thing that's good in here, which I didn't do today because I don't have them, chopped pecans, or pecans, however you want to say them. Chopped pecans in here, whoo! They taste really good, so I recommend that. What else? I don't know. I can't think of anything else right now, so make some cookies. Don't eat them all. Have a good night.